Welcome back to BLOCKTV. This is Blockheads, where we round up the top headlines of the day from the leading crypto news publications. Before we get into our breakdown, we have some breaking news from Coindesk with Branson-backed. LedgerX is first to launch physical Bitcoin futures in the US. Bitcoin derivatives provider LedgerX has announced it's launched the first physically settled Bitcoin futures contracts in the United States. The contracts, which pay traders out in Bitcoin rather than US dollars, will be available for both institutional and retail investors. Customers can also deposit Bitcoin rather than dollars when buying a contract. Since the announcement was published just a short while ago, the price of Bitcoin has been starting to climb and is close to reaching a 3-day high approaching $10,000. Stay tuned for further reports as we're monitoring this development. So to start off our rundown, we continue with two more top headlines from Coindesk, with highlights from Washington with U.S. Senator, "I don't think you've persuaded anyone, crypto creates financial inclusion," and U.S. Defense Department to develop blockchain cybersecurity shield. Cointelegraph informs us former Mt. Gox CEO Karpeles must face U.S. class action, judge rules. CCN lets us know Bitcoin investor Craig Wright rips Roger Ver, Vitalik, NCZ in epic rant. And CNBC brings us the story Branson-backed cryptocurrency firm launches a super fast exchange to take on Coinbase. So in Washington, following a rather tame grilling of Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire, it seems that the consensus is that blockchains are all well and good, but they won't be enough to bring financial services to the underbanked and unbanked. During the Senate Banking Committee hearing, Senator Brian Schatz, a Democrat from Hawaii, questioned Allaire on the matter. Let's check it out.
So here's the thing. It sounds like you think this will democratize the use of financial products. But I'm sort of stuck on what she said and tend to agree with what she said, which is to say that there is a much more straightforward way to do that. There are public policy proposals all the time. There are things that our regulators could do under existing statute to democratize the process and to decentralize the process. And so what I'm trying to get at is, do you really think that in a society in which only 81% of the public currently has a smartphone, that we're anywhere close to democratizing the use of these products? I mean, what it sounds like to me is tech people wanting to wave a wand and skip a bunch of steps and avoid the tough politics of doing things for people and saying, we've got a new tech that will solve all this stuff.
Allaire agreed that the problem of financial inclusion is complex, stating that there are real human and policy issues which need to be addressed in the financial system. A witness on the panel, a University of California law professor, noted that roughly a quarter of the entire U.S. population does not have access to the nation's financial system and spend billions paying alternative service providers to quickly access cash. However, this is not a technological issue, but rather one of public policy. Here's what she had to say.
While I'm glad the cryptocurrency industry aspires to help the unbanked, I do not believe that in the United States, this is the best solution to the problem. The blockchain ledger is a big technological leap forward, but problems of exclusion and financial marginalization in our financial system are not a result of faulty technology, but faulty policy. One stated goal of Bitcoin and digital currencies is to establish an efficient and public payment system available to all. In fact, Congress already established a public payment system, the Federal Reserve. The Fed's explicit charter is to serve the public interest and to increase the integrity, efficiency, and equity of U.S. payments. The Federal Reserve can and should seek to open its payment system to all Americans. Currently, the payment system is only open to banks. Even mobile apps and fintech providers have to go through a bank. But for a host of reasons, banks are not serving low-income and low-profit customers and communities.
Following the hearing, Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Brian Brooks noted on Twitter that even those that are skeptical of the promise of cryptocurrencies often recognize the shortcomings of the current financial system and the effects of excluding large segments of the population from traditional banking services. He went on to indicate that blockchain is in the latest breakthrough in peer-to-peer technology and is likely to be necessary to improving the current financial system. The U.S. Defense Department has released reports that it's to use blockchain to develop cryptocurrency shield. The Department of Defense is looking to forge a cybersecurity shield. In a report published on July 12th titled Digital Modernization Strategy, the department outlined several ways to advance the nation's digital defenses. This includes the integration of cloud and quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and improved communications through distributed ledgers. Specifically, blockchain may be deployed between units and headquarters, as well as intelligence officers and the Pentagon. As part of the Digital Identity Management Program, the agency may also issue a digital token that authenticates an agent's identity. According to the article, the department is replacing old hardware and cryptographic systems to meet the challenges of the improved computing power of America's adversaries. The shift from low-value to high-value work is also part of their big data platform, which will handle data involved in a number of cross-agency projects. Now we move along to former CEO of Mt. Gox. Moving on to his litigation. Mark Karpeles is being subject to a class action lawsuit in Philadelphia over the firm's collapse in 2014. The case was brought out by a former Mt. Gox customer who alleges Karpeles was the sole controlling force of the Tokyo-based exchange and knew there were security bugs in the system but did not make these defects known to the public. Karpeles had argued that the Philadelphia court did not have jurisdiction in the case and sought a dismissal. However, the judge rejected his agreement. This is not the first litigation brought forward against Karpeles, and a similar class action in Canada was dismissed. Oddly enough, given all the furor around his actions, he's been found innocent of most charges in a more recent Tokyo criminal trial, in which he was charged with embezzlement and breach of trust, but was found guilty only on the data charge, one he said he would appeal in March. In a fresh tirade, Craig Wright branded Roger Ver, Greg Maxwell, Vitalik Buterin, and CZ as con artists who are projecting their own criminality onto him. Wright says they have defamed him as a fake Satoshi Nakamoto, all while they operate Ponzi schemes and defraud crypto investors. Wright launched his latest attack yesterday in a blog post. The Post lambasted Greg Maxwell as being involved in anti-sec, accusing him of helping with the theft of thousands of copyrighted documents and other intellectual property. He said Roger Ver is seeking to create dark web markets and was an early promoter and proponent of Silk Road. He then moved on to Buterin by stating that Buterin has been behind the creation of the biggest Ponzi market end scheme of the decade, with ICOs that have extracted billions of dollars from unwary individuals. He rounded down his assault by settling in on CZ, saying CZ and individuals associated with him run one of the biggest money laundering operations in the public world. We continue with the Branson-backed cryptocurrency firm that launches a super fast exchange to take on Coinbase, called Blockchain, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency wallet platforms. It says it's launched a digital currency exchange aimed at delivering lightning-fast trades. The company's new exchange, the Pit, has matching engine Mercury that can execute buy or sell orders in 40 to 50 microseconds, an order of magnitude faster than other market players like Coinbase and Binance. Having enjoyed popularity with Bitcoin enthusiasts, Blockchain claims to account for about 25% of daily activity on the Bitcoin network. The company is hoping its exchange platform will help lure in the uninitiated. Blockchain says its exchange will be available in more than 200 countries, starting with 26 trading pairs. Users will be able to link their bank account with Blockchain and use US dollars, euros, and sterling to trade cryptocurrencies. That was Blockheads today. Join us again for more updates.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.